Dark. Let's check in right now with Rachel Schoutsen, who has more updates on this power outage story.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. Right now we're on Cranston Road in the city of Toronto, and as you can see here, well, you can't really see anything. The power is completely out, and this is what 15,000 people are still dealing with this morning. Throughout the GTA, around 35,000 at the peak through the overnight. That's how many people were dealing without power, and as you can see right here, the situation, it does continue on. The one positive about this is temperatures are a little bit warmer. It's not like we're into that deep freeze of -15 like we have been seeing. However, inside people's homes, still very cold tonight, dealing with this situation. Of course, you need candles, you need your batteries, so make sure you blow out the candles before you head to work today. Of course, fire safety, also a concern with this as well. But Nicole, the good news on this, Pearson finally broke the streak of being sub-zero.
That's right, Rachel. 37 days in a row, Toronto was on the streak of not getting above the freezing mark, but we got above the freezing mark last night. All right, Rachel Schoutsen joining us right now in Mississauga, Ontario, where she's talking about a lot of people losing power. Chris and I both lost power last night. Rachel, did you as well?
You know what? I was okay in Mississauga, but right here I'm on Cranston Road in the city of Toronto. And yeah, this whole street without power, 15,000 people still without power. That's what Hydro One is reporting. They said there was a lot of problems with the servers, some issues, of course, with the transformers, and unfortunately the weather. It just blew out a lot of power for a lot of people. What we are seeing now is any of the snowpack now sort of has a shield of ice on top of that as temperatures warmed, and then we saw that freezing rain. What we are seeing now is slush all out on the roads. Of course, with that Arctic air moving through, this is going to freeze, and we could see really terrible driving conditions through the overnight and into tomorrow.
So no extreme cold this morning where Rachel Schoutsen we find you, but how is it out there?
Well, the power is out, Chris, for 15,000 people. Hydro One reported that. But another issue really is the warmer temperatures, the slush that's on the roads, and the big freeze that's coming throughout the day. We are going to see temperatures dramatically drop throughout the day. And tomorrow, well, it's going to start to feel like February. The memories of February, they'll be back.
Rachel Schoutsen joining us right now. And Rachel, so you're not exactly, in the frigid conditions, but a little messy out there nonetheless.
Oh, it is. And Nicole, you talk about de-icing your car, de-ice your Porsche and your driveway as well, your sidewalk, because today temperatures are going to fall throughout the day. Right now, it is quite comfortable. The signs of spring are here, but temperatures are going to be back to those February feeling like temperatures into tomorrow with the wind chill close to the minus teens. The overnight temperature tonight is -17. Right now where I'm standing, dealing with widespread power outages. I'm just in front of Cloverdale Mall here in Toronto. You can see here all of the storefronts, no power to any of them. The communities here in this area also dealing without power. And a lot of people from the city of Toronto living in Etobicoke have been tweeting me and saying, we really hope the power comes back on by tonight because they know of this big dip in temperatures. Of course, it will be very uncomfortable inside the homes and also not safe when temperatures are that cold.
That's right. Thanks so much, Rachel.
Yeah.
I felt that chill last night. We lost power, and you lost power as well.
Indeed.
Let's check in with Rachel Schoutsen right now, who's joining us in the Mississauga area. And Rachel, we have still, at last count, about 15,000 customers in Toronto without power.
Yeah, Nicole, I'm in Toronto now, just out in front of Cloverdale Mall, and I was just talking to one of the workers who was heading into Rexall drugstore here, and she said they really need the power to come back on. They have freezers inside. Of course, their products in there are about to spoil, so they are really hoping that the power gets restored soon. They said they were talking to some officials, and they said maybe this afternoon. The latest reports I have heard is some of the extensive power outages may not get restored until tomorrow afternoon, and we all know that is going to be a huge issue as some Arctic air is going to start to filter through Ontario, and we are going to see -17 through the overnight tonight, widespread throughout the GTA. So when we talk about this extreme cold, when we talk about not having heat in the house, of course, this is a dangerous situation. And Nicole, I do want to mention a lot of slush out on the roads this morning. You have to clean all of this up because this is about to freeze overnight.
That's right. I had a tough time with my car this morning. It's out.
Well, a very good morning to you. I'm glad you're here with us. Rachel Schoutsen on location in the city of Toronto, and we are dealing with power outages out in the Atlantic, here through the greater Toronto area. Extreme cold warning across the prairies. We'll have all the details coming up throughout the hour, but I want to talk about this system that came through southern Ontario yesterday. It knocked out power for thousands of people, still dealing with the effects of it this morning. The one positive side here is we are dealing with some more mild temperatures. It's a little more comfortable to be outside here this morning. You see the slush on the ground, and the big issue with all of this slush is we have Arctic air coming into play. So Chris and Nicole, if you haven't scraped off the driveway yet or the porch, you need to, because this is just going to completely freeze over throughout the day. Well, I'm glad you're here with us this morning. We are talking about active weather out in Atlantic Canada, power outages from yesterday's storm here in Ontario, and the extreme cold across the prairies. All the details coming up throughout the hour. But first, let's talk about this. I'm here in the city of Toronto, and this is Cloverdale Mall. No one has power. All of these storefronts still remain closed. 15,000 people still without power, according to Hydro One. At the peak yesterday, I saw reports of 85,000 people throughout southern Ontario without power. And of course, it's all because of the storm that came through yesterday. Started off as snow, transitioned into that freezing rain, and it just really left a mess for many people. The snowpack that we see on the ground now, it sort of has like a shield of ice on top of that. Temperatures are warm right now, relatively warm, and they're going to fall throughout the day. So Nicole, signs of spring, when we look at tomorrow, they're certainly not here.
No, not so much. And Rachel Schoutsen joining us right now. I know, Rachel, you didn't lose power, but I certainly did, because the transformers were going just crazy in my neighborhood.
You know what? A lot of people are dealing with that, Nicole. I saw some really great pictures on Twitter of the transformers actually in mid-flame. And you know what? A lot of people dealing with power outages this morning. Still 15,000 people here throughout the greater Toronto area. No power on. At the peak throughout southern Ontario, 87,000 people without power. Some people, it was just for half an hour, but others still into the morning not having any power. Right now, we're at Cloverdale Mall, and you can see the storefronts here, all of them completely dark, as power is still not been restored. Some of the worst case scenarios, Nicole, might not see power until tomorrow afternoon. And we know that is going to be a huge concern because of the deep chill that's going to be happening throughout the day today, and especially into tomorrow. Temperatures -17 through the overnight tonight. Well, many people today dealing without power throughout southern Ontario after yesterday's storm. Let me introduce you now to Colleen and Janice. And what's the situation today? How's the house doing?
House is freezing. It's really down to like 16 degrees.
And have you heard anything from Toronto Hydro? Have they talked to you guys about when the power will come back on?
No. Nothing. My husband called 311 and they said maybe this afternoon.
So what's your plan?
I'm going to the gym to work out. They're going to school. Hopefully the schools have power. Okay. And then, I don't know, I'm hoping by this afternoon I have power.
Okay, we can hope, but you know what? I think this really speaks that spring is quite a ways away, isn't it?
It is. Too far away. I'm tired of this weather.
All right, well,
gotta go.
We'll do something about that, okay? Keep watching the Weather Network, and of course, we'll have more on the deep freeze tonight. Today we're dealing with the aftermath of yesterday's storm. Started off as snow, then we got into the freezing rain, and look at the roads here. This is just outside Cloverdale Mall. I'm on Cranston Road in Toronto, and what a mess. All of this slush. Today, this morning, it's going to be easy to clean that all off. Now into the afternoon, temperatures continue to fall, and this is going to freeze overnight. We are looking at temperatures down to -17 through the overnight, so clean off your driveway, clean off the porch, because that February chill, it's coming back.
Howling winds across Newfoundland on Tuesday, giving way to snow returning on Wednesday.
And in the Maritime provinces, Nathan Coleman was in the messy weather in Halifax.
Rain. I've got my umbrella out with me. It's pouring down here.
Hours of freezing rain left thousands of customers in the dark in Ontario. Rachel Schoutsen was on the scene.
Right now we're at Cloverdale Mall, and you can see the storefronts here, all of them completely dark, as power is still not been restored.
While the site is beautiful, tourists are asked to stay away from Lake Michigan's ice caves because they're falling in.
And from icy caves to snowy maze, join us tomorrow morning as we all just try to navigate our way through the early days of March.